Yo, what's going on, guys? I just wanted to give you a little insight into how you can train and actually get match fit, basically training in a small space now. So if you are, I'm not going to say in lockdown because I think most countries have probably opened their lockdown regulations. But basically, if you only have a tight space available to train, you can't get to a field or to a park or whatever, or even a gym. Basically, I want to show you how you can train in a small space and still get yourself a high level of fitness. Now, for me, usually, I've actually shot this on I'm shooting this on a Friday. Usually, I don't actually work on Fridays. I usually work on Thursdays for my actual fitness or match related fitness stuff. But basically, I've had to reschedule. And usually, I go to a field as well. But now I'm just going at home because basically, I've been having a lot of issues with indigestion, my stomach, all of that type of stuff. So basically, I'm just keeping it at home today. And I wanted to show you that even if you are at home, you can still get match fit, you can still improve, and there's a lot of stuff that you can do to actually get yourself to a whole new level of fitness to be a better player. Now, firstly, always when you're starting off, you always got to start with a warm up. Now, I've given out a whole warm up of exactly what I do, so you can check a video out on that. But there are some additions that I have made that I didn't put in that video, which I'll show now. Basically, the two additions are core activation and also stuff like just activating key muscles. So you can say core activation and just activation work. Core activation is basically just activating your core, your certain muscles in your core. Like especially for me, I have a problem with my obliques and my lower abs, so I just like to activate those so that I know that if they are firing, my core works much better than just, if I was not warmed up there. So it's kind of like it gives me extra stability, extra power when I jump, extra speed as well, because my core gets activated and certain key muscles that sometimes don't get used as often get used more, so you prevent injury and also just get more out of the workout as well. So I like to do some core activation. And then if we're talking about activation work in terms of certain muscles, for me hip flexors are a massive problem, because for me I have tight hip flexors, so I like to work on those, open them up, especially because they are related to speed work, like doing your power work, or even or doing your speed work, or even doing power work in terms of jumping higher. You use your hip flexors, so it's kind of doing stuff like that, your groin, your glutes as well. So it's kind of opening up muscles as kind of an extension to dynamic stretches, just as extra insurance to make sure that you're getting more out of your body for the session. Okay, and that's basically the additions you add to the warm-up. Now it's time for the actual work outside. Okay, back on the pitch. First thing I'm gonna do is put on a motherfucking undershirt because it's cold as shit out here. Okay, now for the first exercise, the plyo hops are basically the first of two exercises for power, and these specifically are for building your jump height and your core strength in relation to jumping higher. Your core plays a massive factor in you getting that jump height. So basically, in this drill, you work both of those factors. Now, if you have a good level of strength in your legs, you can basically focus on power. The sets and rep factors will be at the end of this little clip. And if you don't, basically you can just do more reps and less sets, which means that you focus on building your technique rather than focusing on jumping or getting that little few centimeters in your jump height. So if you're focusing on power in this drill, you need to focus on jumping as high as possible while contracting your core, so that you can basically start translating that into your games, where you'll be able to jump higher to meet a cross, or to meet a header, or to clear the ball out if you're a defender. And the last bit at the end is to just help you basically absorb the pressure, or to absorb the pressure from jumping that high, so that you can land effectively and you can prevent injury. Because a lot of injuries happen where you'll see where, for example, if I can give Kurt Zouma his ACL injury against Man United a few years ago, but he jumped high and he didn't land effectively, ACL gone. So landing effectively is something that you have to do, and it's something that you have to practice so that you can prevent injury. And basically the technique for this here is just slightly bend your knees, keep your core straight, your head up, don't tuck your head in, keep your head up, jump. As you jump, bring your knees up, and then land. As you land, try and land softly on your toes and keep going in that manner. And then for the last bit, jump as high as you can, and when you land, go back into the first position where your core is straight, your head is up, and your knees are slightly bent, and you land as softly as you can, absorbing all of the pressure from the jump. And that's basically the first drill. For the second one, this is more for building movement, core strength and endurance rather than building power. It's mostly building technique, especially single leg strength, which is vital, and it's basically a step to be able to become more powerful. So all you have to do is, this time you side on, you hop over a cone, same principles as before, try and jump as high as you can, land effectively on your toes, hop again over. So it's basically just lateral hops. You will hop back over the same cone and do that in the exact same manner. This basically helps your movement and helps you build core strength in relation to jumping and moving. So it's going to help you prevent injury as well, because you're working on your jumping technique. And on the last bit, of course, landing technique. This time you're landing on a single leg, which is even more vital, because in a game, most of the time you're landing on a single leg first. You never ever land on both, or it's very rare that you land on both feet. So you're always landing on one leg. So it's vitally important to work on your landing technique on a single leg, because like I've said before, ACL injuries ain't no joke, and you do not want to get them. So working on your landing technique, be able to absorb that pressure from a jump on a single leg, is crucial to preventing injury, but also to stabilize your core, which will also strengthen it. So it's a win-win all around. Okay, now for speed work. In this clip, it's incline sprints. Incline sprints are fantastic because they force you to have better technique. Because if you're on a level ground and you don't use the right technique when sprinting, you can still be fast and effective. But on an incline sprint, it shows you that you have to have the proper technique to be able to go through that incline effectively. Now, my technique for the first 3 steps is 100%, but after that I don't drive my knees up as much. So what you have to do, learn from my mistakes. As you go past that first phase of accelerating, drive your knees higher up, swing your arms faster, and you'll be able to power yourself through the sprint, and that's how you build speed. Basically, if you want to become faster and more powerful, you need to produce more force. So if you take longer strides, you'll be able to produce more force, which will make you faster. So just another tip: for the first, I'd say 2 to 5 yards, keep your head down, and then as you slowly start passing that 2 to 5 yard mark, start slowly lifting your head up, and then you continue to power through. And that's how you work on your sprint speed. Okay, now for agility, the same principles apply. To be more agile, you have to produce more force. So this means you have to be able to move your body effectively. So that's where shuffles come in. Basically, all you do is shuffle from cone 1 to cone 2, from cone 2 back to cone 1, then you go to cone 3, and you continue in that manner. Once you're done shuffling through the whole circuit, you sprint back to cone number 1, and that's basically 1 rep. So now this drill helps with basically being able to move your feet quicker, being able to move your body effectively, especially if you are a defender or a keeper. Because as a defender, if you're defending against those tricky wingers who cut in and then go back out, you need to be able to move your feet and body effectively, or you don't want to end up like Boateng, who's on the deck and then Messi's chipping through and scoring. So you basically want to be able to stay on your feet, move your body effectively, so you can stop them from cutting in and then cutting out, and then you on the floor. You don't want that to happen. So basically, that's what this drill helps you with, being able to move your feet quicker and to move your body effectively. And the sprint at the end just helps you basically work on your speed, your endurance, and also your sprint technique. You can take the principles from the incline sprints and put them in the sprints as well. So basically, that's what this drill helps with. Is for a keeper as well, to shuffle across the line, especially when the ball is being moved constantly side to side. You need to be able to shuffle on the line as quickly as possible, and that's where this drill helps too. You'll see that a lot of keepers, when they doing their training on their own with the goalkeeper coaches, they do a lot of shuffling work because they have to shuffle and dive. So that's where this helps as well. But it also helps with every position, because in every position you need to be able to move your feet well and move your body well. So when you're more agile, you'll be able to do more things, curve your running behind quicker, because your body is looser. And that's why we do agility work, just to make our bodies looser, to produce more force, so that we're quicker on our feet and we can shuffle our feet quicker. Now, after you've done everything, now is the time to build endurance. Now, because of our body's energy systems, we need certain amounts of energy for certain exercises. Like for power exercises, we need a certain, substance in our body called phosphocreatine. And if we use that on our endurance work, we're not going to get the most out of our power work. So basically, according to our body's energy systems, which I can speak about in a later video, we need to structure our training in a certain way so that we get the most out of every exercise that we do. Now that we've done our power work, speed work, agility work, we've done all the hard bits, now we need to basically just build our body's endurance so that we can last longer overall in a match. So the first exercise is skater hops, either laterally, which is side to side, or you can go forward and back. And actually, it would be best to combine the two and just do about 2 sets of each. Go for about 30 seconds, and this will help you build power endurance, meaning you'll be able to jump more, but it also helps you build your cardiovascular lung capacity, and it just basically helps you to become fitter. Second exercise is ladder work. Now, ladder work you can actually do before all of this, before power work, before the whole workout, to basically help your coordination, loosen up certain muscles, basically an extension to activation work. Or you can do it as part of agility so that you can basically train yourself to make your feet quicker, or you can use it in endurance, basically to build your endurance, to build your lung capacity, and you get the added benefits of the previous two mentioned things as well. So the most important thing is to actually do it, and depending on when you want to do it is completely up to you, according to your workouts, or what benefits you actually want. But as part of endurance, it's a great way to build endurance, to work on the quickness of your feet. It doesn't actually make you more agile, but it helps your coordination a lot, which makes you a better player. Last bit is doing longer jogs. Now, longer jogs are frowned upon by the football training community because a lot of people feel like they aren't effective in getting a footballer fit for an actual football match. But the thing that they help with is basically building your endurance, your muscular endurance, which is vital for a footballer. That's why just add it at the end. Go for about 15 to 20 minutes, either in your yard or on the streets. In the yard, it's more football related because you're constantly changing direction. You're not just jogging in a complete straight line. But on the streets is good enough too, to help you just burn some calories, work on your lung capacity, and also build muscular endurance. You don't need to completely take it out of your training plan if you want to do longer jogs, but I wouldn't recommend it as a means of getting fit. Meanwhile, you just go and jog, 15-20 minutes and expect to be fit for a match. If you're doing it as an addition to other training, like I've mentioned, it works wonderfully. It's also used as a means of cooling down. And if you don't know how to cool down effectively, check this video and you'll be able to cool down effectively. And that's basically how you structure your training sessions to become more fitter, whether you just find a local park near your home, or even if you're just working in your yard. This is how you can build your match fitness up right at home. Of course, if you don't have the financial resources to go to a gym or to go to a better field, then I just use this video, go straight to the yard, and I know I can get match fit at home. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know how it goes. Thumbs up, comment if you want to ask anything, especially I know because it can be a bit confusing at first. So if you want to know anything, comment below. Subscribe if you want to see more and you like what I put out, and I'll see you guys soon.